I do, folks. How you doing? Just a quick one. Got some bad news, and I've got some good news, and I've got some bad news. So here goes. The bad news is you're fucked because the world is run by a corporation. The good news, and there's some good news, you can not consent. The bad news, you got to learn some shit. The good news, it's not difficult. Day by day, if you're on that path, you learn a bit more, until you do. Bad news, you can't be fucking arsed, can you? Oh well, you're fucked. The world's gonna be run by corporations from now on and until eternity. That's a fact. And anybody consenting is going to be trapped within those corporate rules. That's a fact. That is a fact. So are you consenting or not? Told you before, it's no good shouting I don't consent. Doesn't cut it. You have to not consent. In the same way as there's no point in saying one thing and doing another. It cancels it out. So if you're saying you don't consent while you've already lodged in your consent with them and you keep reaffirming that consent with them, as opposed to keep reaffirming they don't have any consent, you're always going to be ruled. You're always going to be ruled. So here I am to give you the good news. Learn a bit of shit and not consent. Get out. Stop it. Stop it. Stop falling for the distractions. You know, whatever you're thinking about the Trumps, the Brexits, the Coronas, them's the distractions. Because the reality is your consent to all of it, to every single aspect of it, is the consent of the masses that keep giving them the consent. Imagine if everybody revoked and rescinded the consent. Nobody went to the voting fucking stations. Nobody ever cast a vote. Nobody put BBC on. Just ignored everything. Every post that come up that was there to get your reaction, you didn't react to. All of this disgusting, that's disgusting. All of the heart twanging ones that you must respond to. You know, and they're telling you about the paedophiles and such like that run your world. The actors that they've got running that play. Nah, they're absolutely there are paedophiles that run in the fucking place. They were put in them positions by the true rulers so they could always have leverage over them, so they would always do as they're bloody told. And that's all that's going on. Your consent. Everything else is theatre. Everything else is theatre. I tell you a million times. And I still see everybody's reacting to everything. And I do. I'm not just discounting myself. It's what we're built to do. However, I've revoked and rescinded all my consents to all contracts, presumed, assumed, or otherwise. I've put all my paperwork in covering every aspect of my life, and I do ongoing. So if I knee-jerk reaction to something, doesn't really have the same effect because I'm within my little group and we're just bouncing shit between us all the time anyway. It's not going out there to the entire masses. I'm not perpetuating anything of great interest because I keep telling you all how you need to stop consenting. That is the issue. That's the main issue. Everything else I'm doing for the love of the group, for the benefit of the group, to keep the group going. But in all honesty, I would just fucking gladly just post I do not consent all the way down there until people start getting it. But then folks would stop looking, wouldn't they? So the reality is, what are you doing for yourselves? Because I hear a lot of folks saying what we do for others. Now, I'm fucking all for doing for others, and anybody who knows me knows that I do an awful lot for others. A lot of the time to my own fucking detriment. But the reality is, we have to do something for ourselves, because nobody else, no other entity at all can evidence your private status. The fact that you do not consent, you are not part of that corporation, you don't wish to be affiliated with that corporation, you wish to revoke and rescind all contracts in full, assumed, presumed or otherwise, Get the hell out of your trust, dissolve it, do whatever you've got to do, whatever you want to do, you will put your efforts in to learn how to do, and then you will automatically do it. It's inevitable. If you learn to do something, the conclusion is do it. It's funny really how it came to me. I was so wrapped up in helping others, as everybody knows. I was working so many hours a day. I had 3 hours sleep a night, and it ended in fucking heart attacks. So I had to change the way I was doing things. But it wasn't until I stepped back from fucking doing all that work for everybody else for ages and ages and ages that I suddenly realised what I'd known for a long time anyway, but I realised how stupid it was that I actually had the knowledge to remove myself from their corporate shenanigans. And that's when I did it immediately, because I realised I'd got the knowledge, and then automatically it's like, well, what the fuck are you doing? Get on with it. Get yourself out of this bullshit. It's unlawful. It always has been. God, fucking hell, can you imagine? People talk about time travel. I only need to go back to the 70s when I was born and live my life knowing what I know now. Fuck me. And it's unbelievable that folks even think that this has been discovered by us. It hasn't, and I've got to tell you absolutely straight, they've released all of this. They want this to happen. This is part of the divide, this is part of the division. But however, learn it, use it, get in there, remove yourself. Yes, it's part of the division, but if you consider yourself marked in any way, you better fucking do it. If you're on any of the sites that they would label conspiracy sites, if you've ever posted a derogatory comment towards the government, you're going to be on their little lists. Why the fuck would you stay standing in personage? You need to get the fuck out. But anyway, by hook or by crook, by any means necessary, you do what you do, you learn what you will, or you don't. It's there. You speak to folks who know, or you don't. It is there. I've had arguments this week with fucking idiots from other fucking groups. You know, they're still way off track, and if they were genuine, they'd see by now. So I can only presume that they never were, they're not genuine, they're not going to be genuine. They're always going to be blagging you. So they're going to spin you in circles. They're never ever going to take you to conclusion. And I'm not saying there isn't a definitive conclusion, because there's not a definitive conclusion. The conclusion, as far as I see it, is when you say, I've done enough, I'm out. And stop. And make your decisions of what you're doing with the rest of your fucking life. But as much as you want to learn, there is to learn. You can learn for eternity. There's always going to be something to learn. I don't believe there's enough time in the world to study and learn everything there is to know about just the law, let alone all of the aspects of the real world that's hidden and lied to us about. You couldn't learn it in one lifetime. This has been a progression of deceit and the real world as much as the law, right throughout our entire story. And I don't mean the history that you believe. I'm talking about the true history that's been going on for centuries or thousands of years or however long. I can tell you the Templars' true date is 6020. I did, for those that heard me say before, I told them 6032. I miscalculated, and I am sorry, and I should have corrected that before now. And it isn't, it's 6020. 4,000 years on ours. I don't know how I came to the miscalculation. I must have had a bit. But anyway, as far as the Templars are concerned, our true year, the true full year of what we are now, is 6,000, and that's from the beginning of time, the year of light. Wow, work that fucker out. Depends what you believe we are. Depends what you believe the world is. If you believe we came from monkeys and slowly evolved over millions of years, that would be impossible to believe. If you went with quantum physics' version of reality, of this must be a simulation, then how can you discount it? Because the simulation could have been switched on at any point with the knowledge left behind of thousands or millions of years of history. Who do you believe? Do you believe mainstream science? Do you believe mainstream quantum physics? Or do you believe, like me, there's something totally else that they don't talk about and won't talk about, that some of us have a clue on, but I am absolutely sure we only know this much of whatever we think we know. Even if we're absolutely sure we know what this place is, we only know this much of it, if that, maybe even that much. One thing we can be absolute sure of, look at this village, I guess Halloween's coming up. Ghosts hanging in the tree. Yeah, one thing before I forget, because I'm terrible at that, one thing we can be absolutely sure on is we have been deceived for as long as we've known. We allow politicians, known liars, to make decisions and to tell us what's right and wrong. With scientists who are paid by presumably the true rulers of the world to feed us the conclusions. They're paid to feed us the false narratives. I'm sure the bloodlines of the new of the true world orders, true world leaders, are getting New World Order and world leaders mixed up, although they're very closely related. But yeah, I'm sure everybody on mainstream that we see is, or the majority, a bloodline or family. Lower levels, the ones that are earning the ranks at the start, I suppose, of those that deceive, or those that would just dedicate their life for a pay packet and yeah, a bit of fame and glory. Who knows? But one thing's for sure, be it the law or be it the real world, as I've said, nothing, I've said it many times, nothing is as they would have us believe it. So you've got to make your mind up what you believe in this world, but only cling to it if you've got some form of evidence for yourself. Not evidence to prove to anybody, because you're under no obligation to prove anything to any fucking idiot, because 90% of the people, or 99% of anybody that would say I want proof, are coming from a negative realm trying to debunk you. And the reality is, it isn't for you to prove it, because as I would prove over and over again, you will go to effort the energy vampires would have you go to prove what you've said, and then they would absolutely ignore what you've proved, and then they would continue on asking for proof like you've not said anything. And every time you mention that, they would just keep ignoring that and just go on to asking for proof. Just blah blah a little bit first, and then say that you still haven't proved anything. That's how they go. Energy vampires, are they related to the bloodlines? Are they fucking fed in there? Are they just algorithms that are just fucking being run by the artificial intelligence? We don't know. They could just be idiots, so fucking gullible they've bought into every single twist and turn of the plot. Fucking thickens as their acts fucking progress on their deception, as it goes on and on and on and on and on. And eventually you get these brainwashed fucking idiots who have just took in everything that's ever been said throughout their fucking life, and then found out that there's something different, and clung to the first false reality that they've ever been shown, and committed fucking wholeheartedly to that, like they did to the fucking original narrative. People are stupid. There's many different kinds of folk out there, and I guarantee most of them are fucking stupid. It is what it is. MK Ultra, thousands of years of it being bred into them, ingrained into them. False narratives after false narratives. From the minute we're born, our parents are feeding us the false narratives that they were fed. So when you think about it, we never had a chance. We all had to believe bullshit in the first place. Just depends whether you're so close-minded that you would close your mind to any subject whatsoever. I mean, there's many subjects I've heard people say, oh, that's just fucking stupid, no, I won't fucking be there, and they've never even looked into it, because the cognitive dissonance was pricked, and that was it, they was off on one. Many subjects out there that are so divisive that make people just flip into this ridiculousness straight away of denouncing something that they know nothing about whatsoever. Bizarre. And the law isn't immune to that as well, because I've had many people tell me what I'm talking about is rubbish. Yeah, you sure? I've evidenced everything I've done. I don't believe there's anything I've ever done that can't be evidenced. And folks would still ridicule it, given though shown the evidence, and still go on to be twisted and turned in their circles. I can't help folks any more than I do or than I have. I've done for, I've shown how, I've told how, I've told that I'm here to ask how, but don't take that as inundate me, because if you're not doing it, I don't want to be asked how by you. So many folks had come just for the sake of looking like they're going to do something, and that's another human nature. Yeah, I'm going to do that, and they make a point of coming to you, telling you what they're going to do. No intentions of ever doing. It's another strange one. People are fucking weird. We've all got our quirks. But I see a lot of them because they particularly come to me. But anyway, quirky or not, we can all be good and bad. It don't mean somebody who's quirky or weird or fucked up isn't good. We're all fucked up a little bit, and we're all a little bit wonky, that's for sure. Anyway, folks, I'm going to leave that one with you. A little bit of ponderage to work on. See if anything works in there, see if it resonates. If not, spit it out as usual, or take some on board. It is what it is. Have a good one all. Catch you later. Ta-da.